Hey, everybody. The film A Big, Bold, Beautiful Journey is directed by Kogonada and written by Seth Reiss. It stars Colin Farrell and Margot Robbie, with supporting roles by Phoebe Waller-Bridge and Kevin Kline. It's positioned as a romantic comedy drama that had every opportunity to succeed at being the romantic film of the year. So, I really want your comments on this one because I literally read every comment you guys make. And in the comment section of my review for Honey Don't, I mentioned that I don't really like wasting my time or your time reviewing films that I didn't really like unless there is something interesting to dig into. But then Mr. Snappy commented that hearing about films that I don't like is just as valuable to people because you never know what someone's going to like. And I've been thinking about that feedback for a while. And you know what? He's right. A review of a film that misses its mark can be just as important as knowing why another film succeeds. Plus, not every movie is made for every person. A movie I may not like could be something that you love. So, Mr. Snappy, thank you. This one is for you. I didn't really like A Big Beautiful Journey. I went in hopeful, and while there are some good elements here, this one just fell flat for me. So the question is, why didn't I like it? And could this be a film for you? I'll be giving some spoilers here to tell why the film didn't work, at least for me. And so I just wanted to give you fair warning on that. All right, so let's dig into A Big, Bold, Beautiful Journey. The setup here is pretty simple. David and Sarah are these two strangers that are both heading to a mutual friend's wedding. They live in the same city, and so they're basically traveling the same roads. They meet briefly at the event, but nothing really comes of it. On their way homes, though, they each tell their GPS that they want to experience a big, bold, beautiful journey, which results in them both ending up at the same rest stop at the same time, and then they end up driving back to the city together. As they travel together, they encounter a series of mysterious doors. Each door really transports them into one person's past or the other's. Ultimately, they end up seeing all these important childhood memories, these painful experiences of growing up, and those moments that really defined who they are today. Through these shared experiences, they learn about each other's lives. What starts as a road trip becomes a therapy like exploration of their histories as they work through issues that have kept them both single all these years. The film is framed as a will they, won't they kind of romance, though by the end, the relationship feels more like this deep friendship that they've developed than anything else. My first impression of A Big, Bold, Beautiful Journey is that it really had all the right ingredients. Two talented actors who know how to do their jobs, a straightforward premise with room for emotional depth, and the promise of a beautiful cinematic film. On paper, that is a strong recipe for a great romance. But the final product, it just doesn't live up to its potential. And that's where things actually do get interesting, especially if you love pulling stories apart to look at why they work or why they fail. Colin Farrell as David and Margot Robbie as Sarah do everything they can with the material that they are given. They are funny, they're bright, they're charming, they're fun to watch on screen. Their emotional scenes show their skill as actors, and these two are at the top of their game. The problem is with the writing. There's no real tension between David and Sarah. They're honest, they're forthcoming, and they're endlessly supportive of each other from start to finish. That may sound super nice, but it doesn't actually feel like real life, especially for two people with so many emotional rough edges. Relationships are messy and they are hard. They come with misunderstandings and awkward moments and friction. You have to earn the emotional connection that worms its way into your heart and brain. This film really skips that struggle. It jumps straight to the mutual understanding, which immediately reads as friendship, not romance. The result feels like watching two people go through therapy sessions rather than falling in love. and it just doesn't resonate as romance. Farrell and Robbie make this a watchable film, but it really misses that deeper connection that you expect with a romantic comedy drama. And honestly, why does every romance lately have to be a comedy drama? Pick a lane, people. You don't have to hit all the bases. One of the strongest aspects of the film is its visual artistry. Kogonada's direction is cinematic with sweeping landscapes, close ups that really just linger on the face, and carefully composed colors and lighting choices that elevate the emotional beats. The production design, the costume work, even the hairstyling for Roby, all of it fits beautifully into the overall tone, into that cinematic tone for the film itself. I gotta say, this is not a cheaply shot streaming romance that looks like it's made for Netflix or made for Prime, which is today's version of made for network TV. It looks and feels like something made for the big screen. The artistry and the vision, it is there. Unfortunately, even the most stunning visuals cannot compensate for a script that lacks tension and surprise. A simple story can be a gift in a film like this. It allows space to deepen characters and conflict without diverging into dozens of subplots. Here, the simplicity becomes the problem. The plot is predictable to the point of being flat, and the only surprise is that there are no surprises. It plays out like a checklist. Their cars break down, they each rent a car. They meet up at the wedding. They end up driving home together. They stop at doors. They revisit memories. They share insights. They don't get together. Oh, hey, wait, they do get together. And then they walk through one final door. It's so predictable. It is so rote. Honestly, there's no fighting, there's no twist, there's no personality mismatch to get through, which really should have been a given for this movie because of one somewhat twisty reveal at the end. Watching it feels like hearing two people recount their day. We went to the store, we went to lunch, we went to get some gas at the station, we had dinner, and then we went to bed. And there's nothing here dramatic or memorable or anything. That's what this film is. It actually felt like the writer was on a road trip one day in which he and his companion shared a series of little life's moments. And the idea of sharing these moments was like passing through doors. That idea then resonated with the writer in some way. And he thought, hey, this sounds like a great film. And as a result, this is what we got. It really feels like that's how he came up with these ideas. He never takes the time to just turn up the heat on David and Sarah as characters and to like press their buttons and find out why they work and why they can work together. The most unique element in the film is the fantastical GPS and the car rental agency, which plays out like the evolution of a modern day Cupid if Cupid became a car rental agency. Phoebe Waller-Bridge and Kevin Kline bring some wit and some charm to their roles, but the concept itself, it just feels kind of forced, and neither of them really look comfortable in their parts. I don't understand why they didn't feel good in this. The doors the agency creates, they're not actually physical. They don't really go back into the past. It all happens in their heads as a shared mental experience. It's a clever idea on paper, granted, but it makes execution of it feel really contrived at best. The setup is too neatly arranged by this supernatural agency, creating a formulaic set of events that have really no cost or consequence to the characters. The film could have pushed this further, but they didn't. Maybe the experiences could have been more than memories. Maybe they could have actually altered the past, or maybe the whole thing could have stayed in their minds and they never left that roadside rest stop. Instead, the rules are too clear and too safe, making the result predictable rather than magical. Look, I am sure that I am not the only person that has been on a road trip from hell that actually turned into this fantastic bonding experience. When you are stuck in a car with someone that you don't know really well, You expect moments of conflict with arguments over music or snacks or bad jokes. Those small things are what create chemistry and personal connections. None of that happened here. They never fight. They never misunderstand each other. They never even rub each other the wrong way. Without that friction, there is nothing to balance the warmth. So the romance just, it doesn't feel earned. Imagine if David and Sarah had clashed over music choices before discovering this guilty pleasure song that they both secretly loved. Yeah, we've seen that a million times. But honestly, something like this would have made the film better. Or what about snacks? I mean, snacks practically make their own place in a road trip. They're like their own character on the road. Have one of them eat the last cookie or argue about whether or not beef jerky is acceptable in a car because it stinks everything up. Maybe someone spills soda in the cup holder and then they keep getting their fingers sticky and crap all over their hands. Who knows? These details sound silly, but they create tension, they create humor, and overall, they create chemistry between characters. Or maybe David cracks a bad joke that really pisses Sarah off, which would give him the chance to realize that he screwed up, that he doesn't want to make her angry because he kind of likes her. That's human, that's messy. That's where relationships start to feel real and where you start to realize where your emotional edges connect or clash or where they don't with someone else. Romance thrives on push and pull that creates drama-laced laughter and annoyance. It's it's where you create vulnerability and those gaps between people. Without it, what you get, it's companionship, not love, which actually fits with the closing thematic lesson learned by Sarah that she should just settle for contentment and take the joy when she can get it, which kind of leads her back to David. I'm sorry, but that's not romantic. A big, bold, beautiful journey treats romance as steady predictability rather than something to be cherished and earned or held onto. And that's its biggest flaw. That's where it fails. So, big, beautiful journey, is it ticket worthy? For most audiences, I'm going to say no, I don't think so. Farrell and Robbie give strong performances, but the writing never lets David and Sarah's relationship grow into something authentic. And I just don't think that it's worth it, despite gorgeous cinematography, thoughtful production design, or even the premise that seems ripe for conflict. The story remains predictable. It's emotionally shallow and ultimately unsatisfying. What should feel like two people falling madly in love instead plays out like watching friends share a therapy session and really get to know each other better. For a few people who are diehard Colin Farrell or Margot Robbie fans, I think you might actually like it. Or if you love romantic stories, no matter how flat, you may find enough here to make this a theater worthy experience or even a date night if you're just looking for something to do with somebody. I don't know. I don't really drink that much, but I have to say, I had the distinct impression that if I did, this film would have been better with a couple glasses of red wine, some ice cream, and scrolling through my social media feed and posting pictures of my dachshund Mabel. So, a big, bold, beautiful journey. And honestly, the title. Let's just talk about the title for 2 seconds. That is a mouthful, tongue twister to say quickly, and I don't like saying it out loud. A big, bold, beautiful journey. Do you know how many times I had to practice it to get it right? So I say all the words in the right order. Honestly, is it worth the price of admission? Not for me. I mean, I'd still love to hear from you on this. Did you watch it? Did I miss something? Did I get something wrong here? And what do you think about reviewers who review films that they don't like? I hate complaining about things like this, but was actually kind of fun to share what didn't work with me on this. So let me know in the comments below. That's it for now. Thanks, everybody. And thank you for watching. Please do give this review a thumbs up, subscribe for more, and share it with a friend who might be wondering about this film. And while you're here, why not check out one of these other reviews and let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Happy viewing, everybody. I will see you all again soon. Bye for now.